If we talk about maritime cultural heritage, we talk about the relation between man and water. Well, if there's something which is still a very important issue nowadays, that's the relation between man and water. The threat of water, but also the use of water for food purposes, for transport. And if we don't look into the past, we will never understand who we are, and certainly cannot predict the future. That's one of those values of cultural heritage that we can learn from the past. So also about how we can protect our land, how we can make sure our land is safe. We can learn from that past, and we can learn how we can do it in a sustainable manner. Because what is still left, what we can still research, is very much sustainable. We very often do this because automatically, because we already have a lot of values and a lot of techniques which are moved from generation to generation to generation. But some things are lost. Sometimes they're lost because of a very good purpose, because they weren't just good enough. Yeah, we can disregard them. But sometimes things are lost because they haven't been used for a very long time, but it might be the right solution for now as well. So we can solve issues in the relation of man and water only, I would say, only by looking into the past and learn from it. And then adapt it, of course, to our current time. A very interesting thing and a very simple thing, just as a showcase or to show what I mean, is that if we look at Suriname, we work a lot together with Suriname, our former colony, to establish underwater cultural heritage management over there. What we've seen is that they are struggling to protect their coastline, and they have an historical coastline, and that historical coastline has been neglected for a while. Protection was done in a, I would almost say, a traditional way of making concrete walls to protect immediately the things that are behind it, but disregarding everything which is on the other side or outside of that protective area. But actually the traditional way of protecting the coastline and to make sure that sediment stays or is caught on places where it should be, is to build mangrove, to have mangrove to make sure that erosion on that seabed is not happening. And those mangrove forests, that was done in the past, and that can be done now again, and it will protect the Suriname coast. And exactly the same is happening in the Netherlands, where we have, if we look at the Wadden Sea, our big, let's say, inner sea protected by the islands, it's the most bordered, by human bordered sea in the world. Everywhere you can see dikes, everywhere there's big concrete walls that are trying to hold the water into place and trying to move the currents into a certain way. But it creates a lot of problems. And if we have the big dike, the Afsluitdijk, the dike which is built in 1932 between the West Frisian provinces, North Holland and Frisia, that big dike, it's long been extremely harsh border, creating a lot of problems on the seabed in the Wadden Sea, and now they're creating openings in that dike to make sure that water can flow out and can flow in, and a swamp is being built. So in a way, we are looking back on how nature was, how people were using the water, how people were maybe altering it a bit for their own use, but how we did it in the past and how we could live together with nature more closely than we've done for a very long time. So we learn again from the past.